was a good movie. Yeah, let's get the, what's it called? Let's address the elephant in the room, okay? Ever since the movie came out on Thursday, right? People have been giving it mixed reviews, but I'm here to say no. Look, you see, okay, if anybody knows anything about Sam Raimi and his movies, it's meant to have a little bit of terror and a little bit of jump scares. Just because, and I've mentioned this before on a different video elsewhere, like on TikTok or whatnot, just because it's a different flow for a Marvel movie doesn't mean it's terrible. Or doesn't mean it's bad. Okay? The fact that he went to this extent to try to make a Marvel movie something different than what it's always been, in my opinion, is a good thing. They should do that more. Make it more appealing to other people who have other interests in other genres. For me, having that horror jump scare type stuff with a Marvel movie, that's two of my favorite things mixed together. And I love that. There's parts throughout the entire movie where that exists, so to speak. And I thoroughly love the fact that Sam Raimi was able to do something like that. And, you know, it's nothing too serious, like with, like, you know, The Conjuring or whatnot. It's nothing to that extent, but there's still parts throughout the entire movie where it happens. And I wish I had a second opinion on this, because I went with a friend yesterday, but I just wanted to get this over with because I just wanted to get this over with. And personally, for me, this movie was great. I don't know how anyone can say that it wasn't. Just based on what, like, yes, the dialogue and a few other things were a bit like here and there, but other than that, this movie easily, rating wise, 8.5 out of 10. I wouldn't say it's one of the best Marvel movies that has existed thus far, but I would say that it's still up there in the grand scheme of things. And the way that's, again, the way that Sam Raimi went about doing it was perfect. And I'll explain what I mean by him doing perfect later on when I get to, like, the different aspects, because I have everything written down here on my phone for the movie. And it's just, this movie is something that you wouldn't expect a Marvel movie to be. And I think that's the reason why people didn't like it. Because they wanted it to be lighthearted. They wanted it to be funny, which it was, like, low-key a bit funny, but it was dark. It was dark, and I think it was meant to be that way. And I loved that, because that's what I thrive off of. So, I liked that. So, first things first. Story. So, the story of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness involves American Chavez going through different dimensions to, I guess, find her parents, but apparently everything tries to keep coming after her. No, actually, that's not true. Things keep coming after her, so to get her power, so she dies and the other creatures, per se, get whatever the hell she has, her multi-dimensional powers. And at the beginning of the movie, you know, with Defender Strange, a different Strange from a different universe, I found it very interesting that they, like, switched up the character of Doctor Strange, like, oh, you should die because it's for the sake of the universe. See, that Defender Strange, the way he acts is the same way that Doctor Strange acted in Infinity War. He was a bit selfish and all that. And I was about to, like, be like, oh, it's a character progression, but then I remembered this is just a variant. This isn't a legit 616 Doctor Strange, and I'll get to the 616 thing soon, but we're gonna take this slow, okay? So that happens, and I kind of, personally for me, I kind of hated it that they got rid of that one rap. What's it called? That one rap monster at the beginning of the movie, because that seemed like it had potential. It could have been a fight scene there, but there wasn't, sadly. And then later on in the story, whenever they go back to the exact same place. I think maybe it's because it's a different universe. It never shows up. But you would think if it's like a trans-dimensional or multi-dimensional being, it'd be there just to protect the book. I personally thought it was there to protect the book. It wasn't there to, like... I guess, well, no, it was there to kill her. So, I mean, there's that. I just thought it was there to protect. But apparently not. So, I'm fine with it. It's like, it's just a pet peeve that I had. Because it seemed like it had potential because it killed one of the other Doctor Stranges. And then that led to something else later on. I felt that, you know, Wanda trying to find her kids was a very low-key, a piss-poor motive. Because, like, think about it like this. Okay, I mentioned this to one of my friends the other day. Why not find a guy, have kids, call them Billy and Tommy? There. Now you don't have to go take the fucking book and create havoc across the multiverse to try to find kids of your own that already have a mother. You see, it was funny because Wong said, isn't it enough to know that the other yous in different multiverses have children and they're actually like happy? And she's like, no. It's like, okay. First off, literally, you could just make kids. You have the power to do it, don't you? I mean, you're supposed to be what? The strongest Avenger, even though she's not. Okay, let's be honest. It's still Thor. Chill out. A lot of people saying that the Illuminati wasn't that impressive power-wise. It really wasn't. And I'll get to that soon. But it wasn't that impressive power-wise. Okay, anyways. But she should be able to, like, do something with making kids and whatnot. I mean, you're literally a woman, find a man, and procreate. Call your children Billy and Tommy. I just solved your problem. So you didn't have to do all that. The motive for Doctor Strange trying to save the kid, I'll bet you after this movie, my man hates kids now. He dealt with Spider-Man, and then he dealt with America Chavez. What's next? What's next? You just have to ask yourself that. Because it's like, I know for a fact he's pissed off with kids. Like, I can never... He can't have a kid of his own. He can't. Not possible. And then the fact that American Chavez is now trying to learn magic, or because she's gonna be busted. Super busted. The fact that she's able to traverse the multiverse, able to control her power, and do magic at the same time, that's crazy. That's crazy. The story regarding the different books, if you hadn't seen What If, you wouldn't understand how most of it works. But same thing with WandaVision. If you haven't watched that, then it really wouldn't make any sense. And I think a lot of the reviews that I'm seeing from people that I know that haven't seen the shows goes to show that they just don't know what's going on. Like, you'd have to watch, as bad as it is, WandaVision in order to understand what's happening, what Wanda's motive really is. And the same thing with I think it's just WandaVision. Yeah, no. That and yeah, shit. I'm trying to think of what to say. The motive basically just wasn't there. She went through all that, doing all the dream walk. And you know what? Speaking of it, I thought the dream walk thing was really interesting. Being able to use, like, the books. There's, like, 2 different books. I don't remember the names of them. Able to, like, get into the body of somebody else, like a puppet in a different universe. I thought that was a very interesting concept, to be honest with you. And I feel like we're going to see a lot more of that from Doctor Strange, low-key. But doing that caused an incursion on one universe. And I think they mentioned that a lot in one of the universes, like 838 or something like that. Universe 838, I don't know. Where the Illuminati was. And they go over just a little bit. Give me 1 second. I blew my nose. Damn it. Pardon me, my bad. I mentioned that a little bit. And we saw it firsthand whenever we went to go see the Doctor Strange in that one world that was like merging together with another one. That Doctor Strange, I thought at first was the same Doctor Strange that we see in What If, but I don't think it is. It's just a different one that has the powers of the Darkhold. Yeah, no, it's the Darkhold. So I really like how they went and introduced many different Stranges. Also one with the Illuminati, the one who like the Illuminati one had like the power of the Darkhold and then killed off Thanos on Titan. And then we had Defender Strange. It didn't really do very much. He was just there until, you know, his dead body was taken over. At first I thought he was a villain, but I guess not. And I was like, oh, okay. And we have the regular Doctor Strange. And then we have, what's it called? We have the Darkhold one that we see with the universes colliding. I like that, but I also wish, low-key, I wish they took the attention off Wanda. This is a Doctor Strange movie, not a Wanda movie. Like, just think of it, Wanda, Scarlet Witch in the multiverse of madness. It just doesn't work. It's like with Doctor Strange, I understand that Wanda's the villain in this story, but the attention shouldn't have been on her this entire time. The motive just wasn't there for her. Personally, for me, it's like, you doing all this for your children when you could just procreate with somebody? Just go out. That's what Tinder's for. Go to Bumble. Hinge, maybe? eHarmony? I don't know. Just like, put on the title. World's Strongest Avenger, even though it's a lie. Fought in Sokovia? I don't know. Had a sex doll? Bro, I don't know. I don't know. Whatever she's into, I don't know. But she could find somebody, but she doesn't. She just decides to wreak havoc on the multiverse, and it's like, what the hell? What is with you? Overall, I felt like the story was there. It just felt a little bit lackluster. Just a little bit, because there's not much you could have worked with. Because if you're basing it off of the characters that we already had, Doctor Strange just finished with Spider-Man, and now he's thrown into this new issue just out of nowhere. And that's shown at the beginning of the movie when nothing's happening. He just has a dream, and then he's just like, oh, that's nothing. It is what it is. And then he's thrown into it when American Chavez shows up in his universe. And then Wanda, with her motive with the children, as I've stated, again, that's a pretty piss poor one. And then American Chavez is where she's just trying to get away. She just doesn't want to deal with any of the other stuff. So the story was all right, but it could have been a little bit better, in my opinion. Directing. Okay, so directing and cinematography in this movie. Sam Raimi did a fantastic job directing the movie, even though there are some cringe lines throughout this entire thing. I think that's kind of the point. It's what Marvel does, and everyone will go watch it. I don't care what you say. You're going to bash the movie, but you're still going to watch the damn thing. So your bashing only goes so far. But the direction and like the cinematography of how Sam Raimi did it and how he envisioned it was actually amazing. There's that one place where the book is, the Darkhold. That place looks amazing. It's like the space between dimensions mentioned by Doctor Strange's ex-girlfriend or not wife. I don't remember her name. That was really cool to look at. The CGI, I hear a lot of like issues regarding CGI. I thought the CGI was pretty good, in my opinion. I didn't really see anything wrong with it. So I don't really have anything to complain about regarding that. But, you know, again, the horror direction and like the suspense low key and the jump scare direction that Sam Raimi went with for a Marvel movie, it's very iffy and risky, but he did it, and I like it. Same thing with the events that happened in the Illuminati whenever the people are trying to fight off Wanda. That was good. That really showed what Sam Raimi was capable of, in terms of the movie, so to speak. And I know they couldn't show what happens to the Illuminati low-key. They showed it to like a little bit, and it made it a bit disturbing and whatnot. But his direction with this movie, I'm hoping he's able to direct more Marvel movies like this. Like if you go with another Marvel character that's supposed to be dark and like do some whack shit, I'd have Sam Raimi do it, because the way that he went about doing it was superb. It was fantastic. I loved it. And I don't know, it's just, when I saw it when I saw it yesterday, I was like, no way they actually went and did that. But they did. And I was all for it. All for it. I like his direction. I really do. A lot. The plot and the story are pretty much the same. Alright, well, let's talk about dream walking. So, dream walking is a big thing throughout the entire story itself. Basically, when you dream something, it's happening to you in an alternate reality. So, that in itself was a plot point in a lot of things. And I think there's a few plot drops that happen throughout the story. There's one where they're in the dimension where the incursion's happening, and one of the Doctor Stranges says, have you ever felt like you were being pushed off a cliff and whatnot, and there's no way you could do anything? That was probably me. And I didn't fully understand that, but I think that refers to What If, low-key? I wish I had a second opinion on this. I could be wrong, but that's what I want to say. And then, same thing with the 616 Doctor Strange taking over the body of Defender Strange to fight off Wanda at the very end of the movie. That was interesting. You know, I didn't think you could take over a dead body. And, you know, the way that Defender Strange looked as a zombie, bro, that was so cool. He took control of like the spirits and whatnot. That was so awesome. And the designs for the spirits, again, Sam Raimi really, really did it this time. They look scary, low-key. They look terrifying. And he did a great job of doing that. And I was like, damn, this is nice. This is good. Another thing that I liked, was that pacing? Wait, what did I just... Oh, goodness. I'm losing my mind. There's some parts throughout the movie, though, that I want to address. The sewer, or the underground part, whenever they're at the Illuminati. Whenever they close the blast door on Wanda, it's like she doesn't even do anything. She doesn't try to get through it or anything, and everyone just stops, and then, like, the camera's just zoomed in on people's faces, and it, like, the droplets start slowing down. I didn't fully understand that. It's like, why have you stopped? Keep running, damn it. You're trying to get away from her. Why did you stop? And then they pull that jump scare where Wanda comes out of nowhere, like, really, really fast. And that was good. Again, that's Sam Raimi doing what Sam Raimi does. Just the whole jump scare and everything. And I thought it was perfect. Genuinely, I thought it was amazing. There's a few other parts where that happens. It's the same thing with the fights in the Illuminati. Okay, I'm gonna get to this now. The fight in the Illuminati with Reed Richards as Mr. Fantastic, which, thank God, I'm gonna take a tangent here. I don't know how people are getting mad at the fact that Mr. Fantastic from Universe 838, if I remember correctly, was killed, is gonna affect the thing in 616. Remember, 838 isn't 616. 616 is the main timeline. So there is a Reed Richards in 616 that will not die. They're not going to kill him off that easily. But 838, that one's fine. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. I don't know why people are freaking out. But the fight between the Illuminati, Captain Carter, Black Bolt, Reed Richards, Monica Rambeau, I think, as Captain Marvel, which I wish it was Superior Iron Man, low-key. Anyways, was fantastic. They just brought Wanda in, bro, and the lines that she had, I'll get to that. No, I'll get to that later. The fight between them was dark, really bad. It was terrible. Black Bolt, they showed off how OP he was. It's like, and he thought he was the shit. Real talk, he thought he was the shit, and then got immediately killed as soon as Reed Richards says he could say one thing and he could kill you. And he's just posted up there like, yeah, I could. And then Wanda's like, what mouth? And then so he can't move his mouth and shit. And then his brain just explodes. His head just pop. And it's like, no way. And then after that, she just unravels Reed Richards, just like takes him apart, limb from limb. Just like unravels him and then kills him that way. And then it's Monica Rambeau and Captain Carter who are fighting. And then later on in the fight, Captain Carter gets sliced in half by her own shield. I'm like, there's no way they actually did this. Not only that, it goes right through her and then hits like the statue behind her, and her body just falls in two. But they don't show that. But you could just like imagine. It's like, bro, what? And then Monica Rambeau, she fights off a pretty good while, and then she gets crushed by her own statue, I think. And it's like, wow, that's kind of funny. But you know, that fight, I thought, and then after that, once that's over, that's when Xavier comes in, and I'll get to him soon, comes in and tries to get into her mind. He does it, but then a red mist comes, and then zombie Wanda comes out and snaps his neck and then kills him in real life, and it's like, damn, it just kills him off immediately. And I want to get back to the Charles Xavier. Now that he's here, they never once mentioned anything about the X-Men. So we can't say for sure that the X-Men are going to be in there. But we do know that Charles Xavier is in fact canon to the MCU. So that definitely means that the mutants are going to be in soon. How soon? I have no idea. We don't know where the mutants are in an alternate dimension, whether they're a part of 616. Nobody knows. Literally nobody knows. But adding Charles Xavier, I know they killed him off, but that's fine because it's not the actual one, it's a variant. That one, that's good because it opens up doors to other potential movies on down the road, and I love that. I really, really, really did. But that entire scene was just mind-blowing. Yeah. Yeah, okay. As for characters, I think I went over that, but Scarlet Witch, yeah, no, I don't want to hear anybody say, I'm a Scarlet Witch stan. She's a murderer. She's a murderer. And you can't be supporting that no more. That's not a... That's a big no. That's a big no. I also want to touch the, no, I also want to go over the, or touch on the fight with Darkhold Strange and 616 Strange. That music battle was cool. It was like something new that I had never seen, but I didn't fully understand it. It's like, what are you doing with the music? You got other like magic stuff. I thought Darkhold Strange would have been powerful because he's got the Darkhold. He's got like all these other spells. I thought it was like not gonna work for 616, but then I was like, okay, I guess you won. Don't know how. You don't have the Darkhold, so how are you more powerful? Because then what if the Darkhold is supposed to give you like a lot of power, but apparently this Strange didn't know how to use it. And then after the music battle, the other Strange, Darkhold Strange, gets shot out the window and impaled. That is Sam Raimi working at its finest, bro. He's able to do it so well. And you're just like, damn. You wouldn't expect it from a Marvel movie. And I'm pretty sure that the kids that were brought there, they're gonna have nightmares for that. That's gonna be funny. That's funny. That's funny. I actually thoroughly enjoyed it because it was like, oh, I like this. Oh, I like that. That was just me though. I personally love the touches that he put on that, and I keep saying that, but I'm never gonna shut up about it because it was good. It was good in my opinion. Just people don't like horror. Y'all weird. Pacing. Okay, so pacing for this movie, I could see where people wouldn't have liked it. But you have to remember, okay, this is a movie regarding the multiverse, okay? How much pacing are you really going to have in a movie like this. Think about it. You're traversing different multiverses. Different things are happening all at once. It's either going to be too fast or too slow in order to explain what's happening. It can't be perfect, and it's understandable for a movie like this because you're going through the multiverse. Think about that for a second. It has to be that way. Because how else are you supposed to like understand what else is going on? If it's too fast, like Venom Let There Be Carnage, which was a bit too fast, it's going to be confusing. If it's, you can't really space it out in an equal amount. I understand that most movies are meant to have an equal balance to it, and this does at times. But again, as I said, you're traversing multiverses. You're trying to explain a story for a character that was just brought in out of nowhere, who was literally and figuratively dropped in on the MCU out of nowhere. Literally. American Chavez, I'm talking about you, literally happened. So you gotta explain that, while also explaining Wanda's story to the people who haven't watched WandaVision to make it make sense. And then use Doctor Strange to help aid that story. You know what I mean? So, you got 3 different stories going on at the same time. All connected into one. The pacing's not going to be perfect. Okay? And I get that. Especially for a movie like this, with the multiverse in play, it's kind of difficult to do that. And I completely understand that. And I'm going to get more coffee and I'll get back to that. Hold on. So, you know, I completely understand where they're coming from. I get it, the pacing. And then there's some parts that I can't forgive with, like some of the dialogue, which I'll get to that soon. Some of the dialogue just wasn't needed. Some points, like with the underground, no need for that. Why'd you stop? Why you need to? There was no need for that. You could have kept running, but you didn't. But other than that, there's not really any scene that wasn't necessary. If I'm really thinking about it, there's no scene that wasn't unnecessary. I feel like the Illuminati was pretty much fodder. They didn't do very much of anything. So I'm not sure. Pacing wise, I thought it was eh. But it's understandable. I get that. It's understandable because, again, as I said, multiverse, different things going on all at once. I just wish the spotlight was on Doctor Strange more because, believe it or not, it's a Doctor Strange movie, not a Wanda movie, but whatever. Dialogue. Okay, now let's get over dialogue. I don't know where to start first. Some of the dialogue in this movie was not needed. The kids, for instance, whenever she uses her own body as a puppet to talk to her kids, they start singing about ice cream. I understand that you're at a young age, but it's like, really? Didn't you just like kill off a bunch of people before this, and now we're here singing about ice cream? How does what? Just like have an entire genocide scene and then we're gonna sing about ice cream. That makes sense. What? I just don't. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Like, you just took over somebody's body purposely without their consent, and now your children singing about ice cream. I mean, I don't know. It seems to be a bit weird, but whatever. Other than that, there wasn't a lot of dialogue that was like out of place, so to speak. I mean, there was some that was like, Okay, a bit unnecessary. Um, but I'd say the dialogue as a whole, the good outweighs the bad, because there's only a few, because it can be justified if you really think about it. Because it's like with American Chavez, she has a few lines that are like a bit cringe, if I do say so myself. But she's a child, so it kind of makes sense. Children her age are cringe for no reason. It's cringe to look at. And then with Wanda's children, it makes sense. But other than that, the good dialogue, bro, Wanda, I'll give her this much. Okay, I hate her fans, but Wanda, well, she had some sinister, menacing lines. Like the one part where she's like, "Do you have any?" It's like, "Do you have a mother? Do you have like a mother raising your kids?" And then Reed Richards is like, "Yeah." It's like, "Oh, that's good. At least they'll have someone to raise them." And it's like, and then she just kills him immediately afterwards. It's like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" And then towards the beginning of the movie, where she tries to justify herself as to why she's doing what she's doing, there's like a whole controversy that happened over that a few months ago. So that was already discussed, but her thing was not justified, like, at all. So, you know, that was something in itself. There's another one. I forget her dialogue. There's another one that she had where, regardless if I can't remember it, her dialogue was sinister nonetheless, and I thought it was pretty good. It was good the way that she went about like attacking and like low key, like a low blow kind of thing. It's like, ooh, damn. But she just want to see her kids. So go to any lengths to do it. And I don't know. I forget the lines, but if you watch the movie, you know that they're good. Oh, they're good. They're really, really good. And I just like, damn, there's no way you just said that. It's crazy. It's good. But Doctor Strange had some funny ones at times, but I mean, there's nothing too serious that was like, oh, that stood out. Like any like hidden meaning, any plot points that happened or will happen or anything like that. So funny and weird dialogue aside, I thought the lines were good per se. Now, what stood out to me the most in terms of the movie, both positive and negative, first off, the Illuminati. I liked the way that they brought them in and went about, I guess, building the character. Even though they were killed off immediately as they were introduced, showing that Reed Richards as Fantastic Four exists goes to prove that we're going to have John Krasinski as Reed Richards in 616, just with like a different suit and everything. So he's going to be in the MCU. I mean, he already is, but like canon-wise, you know what I'm saying? He's going to be there, and I'm all for it. Because like with that casting, they listened to the fan casting and casted him as Mr. Fantastic. And I loved that. I really did. I didn't know who Black Bolt was. I could honestly care less because he's pretty much fodder. As we can tell. Bringing in Captain Carter from What If was also a good thing, per se. Monica Rambeau as Captain Marvel, I was alright with it. I didn't really care. I thought it was... I honestly wanted it to be Superior Iron Man, because with Ultron, kind of made it look like it should have been a Superior Iron Man, but I guess not. Personally, Superior Iron Man would have definitely gave Wanda the business. Let's see. Yeah, also, the part where where American Chavez looks back through her memories, literally a bee started it all. A bee is what caused all that havoc to happen. A bee. Literally, it's like the rat who started or saved the universe with an Endgame. Who wins, the bee or the rat? Who knows? I don't know. I have no clue. It's like, who wins? Stuart Little or Remy from Ratatouille? Remy. I'm putting that out there anyways. So it's kind of like that. It's something like that. And I thought that was pretty interesting. It's like, wow, a bee is what caused the multiverse to collapse. Weird. That's weird. I already said Wanda's dialogue really stood out to me. It's like, damn, that's menacing. But that was good. That was good. The end credit scene. That's another thing that really stood out to me. Clea. Now, to those of you who don't know Clea, I believe Clea was played by who was it? Oh shit. Where did I put it? Oh, she's played by Charlize Theron. In the comics, she's the cousin of Dormammu. So, and she betrays Doctor Strange a numerous amount of time just so she can like have Dormammu fight Doctor Strange, but they're like a couple or something like that. She's in fact the Sorcerer Supreme of the Dark Dimension. So, yeah, they're definitely going to be working together more often as more Doctor Strange movies happen, so to speak. I want to see where the chemistry goes with those two. And now that Doctor Strange at the very end of the movie has the power of the Darkhold, we thought it took him over, but it didn't. He has full control over it, which is weird. I'm like, oh, so you just struggled for like 3 minutes, and then you're like, yep, nope, I'm good. I've controlled it. And then proceeded to go on about your day. I was like, oh. All right, then. I really didn't question it because I was like, it's 616 Doctor Strange. He's not meant to, like, die or something. You know what I'm saying? He's meant to have control over this because, again, 616 is the canon, the actual, like, canon universe. But seeing Clea, I thought was very interesting. I liked how they brought her in, and I'm curious to know what they're going to do with her character and Doctor Strange in the future. I really am, because I know that the next movie is most likely going to be in the Dark Dimension. It has to be. And I know we're going to see Dormammu again. We have to. But it's going to be like a comedy-based thing. It's like, oh, hey, Dormammu. It's like, oh, shit, it's Dr. Stephen Strange. Shit, what do I do? And I have like a whole comedic type thing. And I don't know if... my friend mentioned this after we watched it. Mephisto. I'm not sure when they're going to bring in Mephisto. A lot of people, back whenever the different Disney shows came out, they were talking about Mephisto a lot, but it never actually happened. Same thing with Spider-Man No Way Home. Mephisto. They thought Doctor Strange was Mephisto. So they might bring him in eventually. I'm not sure when, but I would love to see where they go with that in terms, because I feel like it would work well with Doctor Strange, because it kind of has to. If you've read the comics, it kind of has to. So the Clea thing with Doctor Strange, I like that. I like the direction that they're going. And I'm curious to know what direction they take for that, per se. Ow. What else? So, the questions I have for future movies is where, if there are any, are the X-Men in 616? Because again, with the introduction of Charles Xavier in Multiverse of Madness and 838, I remember, there has to be a Charles Xavier in 616, but where? And if so, why have we not heard about them yet in the main Marvel timeline? I understand there's an X-Men movie thing, but it's still Marvel, but where would that be? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are they going to introduce them in a way that makes it canon to 616? That's just something I'm really trying to think about it. Like, I'm not sure how they're going to combine the two, but I have faith that Kevin Feige or whoever directs the next Marvel movie involving X-Men and 616 will go about doing it, so to speak. I'm curious. Another question is, where is Mordo? I know we saw Mordo in 838, but that's not the same Mordo from 616. He's just not there. He never showed up. And I just don't know where he is, because at the end of the very first Doctor Strange, he, like, has a plan to take over the Sorcerer Supreme, but it's like, how? Where are you? Where is he? I don't know where he is. I thought that Mordo was that Mordo from 616, but it's not. So I'm curious to know where he is and what they plan on doing with him in the future. Because there's a potential there, but I don't know how they're going to do it, especially if Doctor Strange gets so strong now that he has the Darkhold. You have to ask yourself, what is Mordo going to do? Well, who is he going to convince to fight off Doctor Strange? Who is he going to convince? How is he going to do it? Maybe he paid off Clea. Who knows? I don't know. I've already mentioned killing off the Reed Richards in 838 does not affect the Reed Richards in 616. I don't know why people are getting pissed off about that. There's no need for that. Because there's a Fantastic Four movie coming out, damn it. So why would they kill off one of the main people who's going to be a part of the movie? Explain that. It didn't make any sense. I don't get that. He's fine. People are freaking out over it. At the very end of the movie, Scarlet Witch, whenever she goes and finally meets her children hate her immediately. Immediately. They're like, you're not my mom, fuck off. And then she's like, bro, what the fuck? I went through all this only for you to hate me? What the hell? And then she, like, you know, she's on her knees trying to, like, she's crying and shit. And then the mother from that universe comes up, I think it's 838, and says something. I completely forget what she says. And then she's like, damn, all right. It'd be like that. And then so she shuts down the entire thing. And then she, like, takes the throne room for Scarlet Witch and throws it on herself and quote unquote dies. But come on, she's not dead. Are you really gonna tell me that Wanda Maximoff, Scarlet Witch, who's able to do everything that she did in that movie, is gonna get killed by a few rocks? Really? She died from stoning. That's crazy. Powerful as shit, yet dies from stoning. Does that make sense? You would not kill off Scarlet Witch that way. There's no way. She would try. She tried to kill herself, but it's not going to work. That would not work. There's no way. There's no way she's dead. I refuse to believe that she's dead. As much as I'd like for Wanda stands to, like, lose their shit, there's no way she's dead. I refuse to believe that she is. And I'm glad they didn't kill off Wong. Okay, I am so glad they didn't, because at first a lot of people thought, oh, she's gonna kill off Wong and everyone's gonna hate her. That didn't happen. Nor did. And what's crazy is, like, with Sam Raimi, right? For the longest time there was, like, this teaser where it showed one of the pizza containers or something that was, like, in the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, that he was going to be in the movie, but he never shows up. Ever. Not once. And a lot of people were expecting that. It's like, oh. Well, okay then. I guess it do be like that. But I'm okay with that. Because if they would have killed off Tobey from, like, if Wanda would have killed off Tobey, I never would have liked Wanda ever. And the whole internet would have erupted in rage. I know that they mentioned that when you traverse universes, there are different incursions that happen, but since American Chavez does not have another alternate or another variant or whatnot, which I don't understand, how are there not other versions of her, which I thought there would be, considering she says that there's only one of her. How does that affect the multiverse? The fact that she's able to just go through the multiverse like crazy. Like, I don't think it ever stated that she specifically affects the multiverse. It's what Doctor Strange does that affects the other multiverses. She could just traverse like crazy and nothing happens. So, I'm a bit confused. Like, how does that work? I don't get that. There has to be some issue that happens when she traverses the multiverse using her power. There has to be. And somehow there isn't. And I don't fully understand that. Where did her parents go? Because we're shown in her memories that her parents are, like, gone. But how? Where did they go? I don't know if they're going to make American Chavez movie or if they're going to make a TV show. I would think they should go with the TV show first before they do a movie, because it would make more sense that way. As long as you give us more insight on the character, because I don't think they did enough of that as the movie progressed, because she was literally and figuratively dropped in on the MCU with no explanation as to why she was there. So, but the funny thing is, she was an integral part of this movie. And I saw a lot of people have like these really shitty ass takes saying, oh, she's useless and everything. Like, without her, none of what would have happened. She was literally the main reason why things were going after her. Why this whole movie happened. To get her power. So, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know what the deal is with her parents. But other than that, you know, I wish I had a second opinion on most of the stuff that I said. I personally, myself, like this movie a lot. Is it one of my top 10? Probably not. Maybe. I'd say maybe. Top 5? No. Definitely not. Not one of my top 5s. But the way that Sam Raimi, again, went about doing this movie was great. I liked it. It was fantastic. A lot of people don't see that, and that's fine, but for me, being a horror fanatic, I loved it. It was great. And the pacing for it, for me, was is alright. But I liked the direction that they were going for this movie in terms of the horror and suspense. It felt legit. You know, it gave a different feel to a Marvel movie. It's not just always lighthearted and like nobody like dies a brutal death or something. This one showed it up close and personal. They did not care. And I don't know. Personally, I liked it. So that is the review for Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. I can't wait to see what else they come up with. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace!